They really would have blamed it on us.
BMW
driver. All right. Right now it's 8:35, which
talk
is.
about naps, bro. I woke up 3 hours ago.
I got no sleep last night, but that's my own fault.
Yeah, I went to bed at 9:30, and I'm not prepared.
So right now we're going on a hike, and we're gonna do like a little review guy on the 24-14 G Master on the Sony A7 III.
So we did this video like a year ago.
Yep.
And that was Trevor when he just got the 24.
Yep.
And I rewatched it last night, and wow, that's garbage. It's so bad.
Is it?
No, like my B-roll, like I always think it's funny. It's like once you get any camera that's like does 120, it's like 120 everything. Like if it's not 120, what's the point?
Hey,
I watched that. I was like, oh my gosh,
everything is. It's kind of the B-roll was a little slow.
It was so slow. Everything was 120. It was
like
oh my
at
gosh.
the time,
I was like, yeah.
I thought it was I thought it was sick.
I watched it.
I mean, and it still is
so
cool.
Oh no, it's garbage.
No, I think it's dope, but it's just like, I mean, I think it does look cool because it's a 120.
If you rewatch, well, I mean, yeah, I think incorporating 120 is like important. Or not important, but like it's definitely something to do. But not every single clip. And also, like I was rewatching the B-roll, and so there was one point where I'm like pulling out of a pipe on the side of a building. It's an abandoned building. And it was just me pulling out of a pipe and then going straight up and had no context. Like I understand, just a
like cool
showing.
Shot.
It wasn't cool.
Oh,
it's so bad. So this is my perspective. Now I shoot Canon, which is weird because I was gonna shoot Sony. I was gonna go to a Sony. I was like, because I loved your A7 III, and I was like, But now it's just like the dream camera of the 1DX. It's like, you know what? Let's send it. No reverts.
That boy really got the 1DX.
I mean, you gotta be.
I got a 1DX too, though. But we both really just.
We went out, and I'm not mad about it.
The fact that we actually think about this though, like when I first started this, like, like what, a year ago now?
Yeah.
It's been over a year. It's been like a year and a half now.
No. Oh yeah, it has.
It's been about a year and a half. Anyway, dude, I was like, this is gonna be my camera for years to come. Like, bought the Sony. I was like, I don't need anything else. I'm gonna have so many lenses. And then like I'm like, okay, I'm switching cameras. But the fact that I thought it was gonna be a long time down the road where I was gonna be able to afford another body.
Yeah, because I remember you talking about like the A9 II.
Yeah, I wanted to buy the A9 II so bad, but which is a great camera. I'm honestly like, I'm not mad that if I would have bought that, I wouldn't have been super mad. It would have been a good camera.
Yeah.
But, dude, I wanted to get away from that Sony. Just because it's a great camera. It's just like little bitty things that really started to bother me from like I don't know. I feel like more of my work.
In a quarter mile, turn right onto East State Street.
A lot of my work kind of changed from like wedding stuff and portrait stuff, which is great or whatever. But I felt like a lot of my stuff that I was doing for fun with cameras kind of became not very fun anymore. Hold up.
Turn right onto East State Street.
But I think maybe because the camera was so damn easy to use and it was so just like pick it up, turn it on and go. Like I don't know what it was about it, but it kind of took out like the artist part of it. I don't know. Like it just became so
in a quarter mile, turn left onto the ramp to I-55 North.
Easy to use and it didn't challenge me. And like I was like, okay, I want something like I want something different. I don't want the Canon. I miss a DSLR. Am I getting on this highway, by the way?
Going that
left.
way.
Okay.
Yeah. So when was when was the first time you were like, oh, 1DX would be cool? And then when was like
turn
the time
left onto the ramp
that's
to
what
I-55 North.
So I was like when I was talking to you. Remember the one day we went to Schiller's?
Yeah, that was my deciding day.
Yeah,
not necessary actually, but
it definitely wasn't my deciding day. That which is weird.
It wasn't mine either, actually.
Right?
In a quarter mile, merge onto I-55
Siri's
North.
so annoying. I'm so sorry if you guys can hear her. She's
right. Yeah, they can obviously.
What's coming out of? Oh, is it coming out of your phone?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was my phone. Anyway, but we went to Schiller's that day, and before that, I had been thinking about getting a new camera because of all the reasons I just said.
Continue on I-55 North for 22 miles.
But the Sony, the one thing about the Sony really was like, once I'd get it home, like I'd take good photos, whatever, I'd get home. For some reason, everybody talks about the low light performance of it. I think the 1DX kind of blows it out of the water.
I disagree.
No way. For real?
I disagree.
Dude, I don't know. I feel like when
I think from a video standpoint, I guess maybe.
Well, no, I'm saying photo wise.
Okay.
Here's why though. Like, so from a wedding photographer perspective, or just like, you know, shooting in low light, right?
Yeah.
If I took my Sony up to like 3200, like seriously, the amount of grain that seriously would show up, and it wasn't like a cool, natural, like very subtle grain. It looked like a really shitty camera grain. Like it was like, low light performance, like oh, you need to boost your ISO. It looked like I should have been at like 10,000. I don't know. It just had this weird, like,
I will say though that
thing going on.
So that's one thing I missed with my S1 because it had dual native ISO. So like at $4,000, it was like 4,000 ISO was its second native ISO, so it was completely clean.
Dude, I feel like on the 1DX though, like
I was shooting at 10,000 ISO onto skate park.
Yeah.
It's obviously there's grain, but it felt like it didn't look
exactly
bad.
Exactly. That's why, dude. Dude. If I did that on the Sony, it would just look bad. It looked shitty. It looked like I was shooting with a really crappy camera.
Yeah.
Like it took the quality down so fast. Like, and that's why I love the 1DX. Like I'm happy to take photos right now.
Yeah.
In the wedding, like during the wedding, at like, well, I'm not happy to, but like pushing 10,000 feels like what it would be like to push 3,200 on
crazy.
my Sony.
That's crazy.
So, but yeah, the deciding point for me was like, I'd been thinking about it, and I went home that day after I picked it up, and I was like, because I've been looking for new cameras already, because I didn't really like the Sony, the way the highlight roll off and everything was, and all the reasons that we just talked about, but I was like, wait, why don't I just get a 1DX? Like, I was looking at Fuji, and then I was looking at...
I
was like, dude, that camera. So sorry, y'all. That's on the inside. Yeah, I was like, why don't we just get a 1DX? Boom. Because you were thinking about it, and I was like, that could be smart.
So, back right before I got my S1, so I had my GH5, and I've said this in so many videos of mine, but like, when I had GH5, like, I wasn't really progressing, I was just kind of like, I'm like new to everything, and obviously I'm not very good, so it's just like, I'm just like, oh, blame it on the camera, even though it was weird because I knew exactly that it wasn't the camera's fault, and I knew you could get great things with the GH5. I was just like, I just wanted something new because, you know, buying new things is like exciting. And I almost got the that 10 to 20 25, which actually that would have been fantastic lens, and I think it would have changed everything if I got that. But then I was deciding, like, so you had the A7 III at the time, and I was like, all right, you know, we could have the same mount, it would be easy. Yep. That was like the main thing. And then the 1DX was like a thought for like a split second, and then I looked at the price and was like, no, like I can't. That's so much money. There's no reason for me to have, and it's, you know, it's a 4-year-old camera at this point. Like, there's no reason for me to do that. And then the S1, I was like, wait a second. I'm used to Panasonic. I love their menus. The colors are good to me. Like, I liked all of it. And at the time, the autofocus didn't bother me because I still did video mostly, and manual focusing like is what I do most of the time. And then I got the S1 because it was just like better, and at the time we weren't really like working together at all, so it was like the whole like you know, mount didn't matter. So I got the S1, and I'm not mad about it. I'm actually kind of miss that camera, but like that's when I started getting into photos, and that was like actually good. I had that camera, it was full frame, you know.
Yeah.
But the autofocus. But once you get into photos, nowadays autofocus matters.
Yeah.
Because, like, especially at drift events, because that's what I'm shooting most of the time. And it's like fast action cars and people that are trying to get candid moments. I'm sorry, if it's not going to focus on the face, like, I can't have that happen. So I was like just bickering about the autofocus.
Yep.
And then, you know, the 1DX is my dream camera. I was like, I really want a 1DX. There's no reason. And then we went to Schiller's, and I saw the 1DX on the shelf, and I was like, oh, can I see that, sir? And then, you know, oh, God, I hated it. So we went to the store. I had my S1, and then I just recently bought Sigma 105-14, which is a beautiful lens. And then you had your Sony, and you were looking at were you looking at a 50 mil? Or?
Yeah, I was going to buy a 50 mil.
And
I was like, just buy it, don't worry about it.
Yeah, so like we were 19, and like
last year.
No, it was this year.
Oh, still.
Bro, we bought the 1DX like 3 months ago. It was 3 months ago that happened. Like 3 or 4 months ago. But so like he sees that we have like nice cameras, but like we're young, so like I don't know if it was just his like generic like style of trying to sell things to people, or just because we were younger, but it was garbage.
Dude.
Like we come on,
really
like I understand we're 19, but like we're not that stupid. Like the way he's just like, oh, it doesn't matter, just like you're gonna. It's like it's like
I literally told the guy. He was basically he's a salesman, right? And he was literally trying to like get us to like buy this thing, and he literally told me. Well, I told him, I was like, yeah, I just can't afford this right now. I have like bills to pay and stuff. He goes, well, you'll figure it out. Money will come. Like if you buy it, you'll figure out how to pay your bills.
like, shut up, dude. Like I understand
Like,
we're
wow.
young, but we actually do have stuff to pay for.
I'm glad you care about my well-being and the fact that I actually have important things to pay for.
I mean, that's his job, though. So
no,
I
but
get
that's
that.
no, but that's like no, that's just like no.
Hey,
that's
but,
not
like-
cool. That's not cool.
It's not sure, but like I get it from his perspective. I think that it was probably right for him to do that. Like, if he would have, if we're not like that smart or whatever.
That instantly turned me off, though.
Yeah, but like if we were like just like whatever, then we're like, yeah, sure, whatever, we'll listen to you. Like some people might actually listen to that and be like, sure,
Yeah.
and then he just made a sale.
Good point.
So anyway,
I still think he's an asshole.
oh yeah, kind of. He's kind of annoying. But like, so this is the first time after watching a bunch of 1DX videos and like stuff. But it was the first time holding the 1DX in my hand, and I was just like, ugh. Like, let me tell you guys, the 1DX is the most comfortable camera I've held my
Yes.
entire life.
The middle finger holder.
Oh god, it's so good. And I was just like, it was so good. It was just so good. So then after that, I was pretty blown away. We had a 35-1.4 or 1.8, maybe it was 1.8, and the close focusing distance on that lens was phenomenal. I was like right in Trevor's eye, and it was just like on his eye.
That's insane.
Anyway, like
yeah.
after that, I was just like, we were in the car driving home, and I was just like, you know what, like whatever, like because my dad's basically, he was like telling me, he's like, don't buy this lens, because like Panasonic is coming out with a better autofocus system, and it's already actually in use, just in like machines and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'll just wait 3 years and buy the S2, like whatever. But at the same time, I was like, you know what, like gear doesn't matter, so why does it matter that I get this? It's kind of like normally people say gear doesn't matter, so don't get the next thing, but like
in your case though,
it did matter in my case. Like I'm losing shots with the camera that I was using and what I was using it for. So I was like, whatever. And then I was like, no, like I was just like, no, I'm not gonna buy it. Like, I just can't.
It's like I think Jared Pullitt says it all the time in like cameras that with bad autofocus systems. It's like you could have literally like the best ISO performance, best like whatever, but if you miss focus, then it doesn't matter. Like
exactly, if you don't get the shot, like it's great that you had that all those specs, but the specs don't matter if you can't get the shot.
Can't focus. Yeah. So. It's like,
so.
It's my Wi-Fi right there.
Oh yeah. So. I don't know. It wasn't that day that I decided. Like I said, I decided that day, but then I was like, nah. I don't know exactly what day it was, but then you're like, you know what, I'm gonna buy one. So then I got really excited. I started sending you a bunch of links to the ones, and you actually bought one of the links I sent you. And then I was like, all right, we just decided. I don't know.
Wait, what did I buy from the link you sent?
The 1DX. I sent you a bunch of 1DX links, like from Facebook and stuff.
Yeah, I bought that.
But we were like talking, and we're just like hyping each other. Like, yeah, we have the same mount. We're working together. Like, well, which actually is like true. Like
we have been doing this.
We've been working so much together, and
it's
so then
fun.
Then we just decided. And then my timeline. So it was actually I have it on my phone. I think it was. I started saving that day, and I took like $536 out of my checking account and started putting in a saving account. So I have it here. It says. I have it right here. August 13th, decides 100% on 1DX Mark II. I put $574.99 in my savings account to start saving for it. My timeline was like probably get it like end of November, early December. And so that was it. I stopped spending money. Like I bought gas and paid my bills, and that was it. Like I didn't buy food or anything. And and honestly, if you're trying to save for something, like that's what you have to do. So what my dad was saying. I'm sorry for the semi, right? Like we're like matching speed. So
he was gonna pass me, and then he just
didn't. So
screw you, buddy. Let me get a ticket for you.
What was I? Where was I? I just blanked. What were we talking about? Oh yeah, not spending money. So there was a video we made on the 1DX, and somebody was just like, you have 1DX2s, like, this is, like, such a great flagship camera, and this is the photos you're coming out with, like, and my dad was pointing out, so the thing is, like, just because I have a fantastic camera, it doesn't mean I'm going to be the best photographer.
Yeah.
Like, I'm quite new to this. I just started photography in June. It's now November. That's 6 months exactly. You cannot expect me to be like, you know what I mean? And just because I have a 1DX2, like, anybody can, like, go out and, like, save enough money and work hard for it, and that's exactly what I did. Like, so, but I found one on Facebook, and I was like, you know what, like, this is, like, a really, and it's not just, like, there's going to be deals all the time, but, like, it was a really good deal, like, $2,500, and it had the reader, a card, an extra battery for 1DX2 with, like, 84,000 shutter actuations. So that's, like, that's a deal. I was like, yes. So I messaged a guy, I'm like, I'm buying it. I sent him $2,700 and something for the camera, and then that, like, whatever, in total. And then he sent the money back, and I was like, I've gotten scammed before, like, so I sold my GH5, and the person that bought it actually scammed me and sent me, like, a link that I should have known, but I didn't, and anyway. So I thought I got scammed again. I was like, this man sent me back the money. What do you, like, I'm scared. The person that I was going to buy it from, he had his own photography business and everything, so it was, like, not too sketchy, but he sent it back, and he said, you know, you don't have a verified PayPal account, so I'm not going to do this. Like, I don't want to get scammed. And I was like, I understand that.
That's fair, yeah.
But, and I think this is where it came from, especially, but, like, so my mom has a verified PayPal account, and I was like, well, maybe just, like, let me ask my mom to see if I can use hers, and he's like, no. And I was like, hey, like, why not? Like, and he's just like, no, deal's off. I was like, you kidding me? Like, whatever. I was a little angry about that, but,
Jeez.
And then I found another deal, and this guy was super cool. We had a whole, like, I bought the 1DX from him, and we had a whole, like, conversation for, like, an hour. We were talking about the R5 and the R6 and the 1DX.
Oh, yeah,
my
that guy
camera,
sounded so dope.
I walked his Instagram, it was super cool. He's a photography business, and he told me, like what he's used the 1DX for, and it's been on a tripod pretty much most of the thing, doing real estate. So I like that guy, and it was like, I think it was $3,000, 1DX, 256 gigabyte CFast card, and 3 batteries and a reader. Like, that was a deal for $3,000, I think. But it had 285,000 actuations on it, which didn't really bother me. Just looking at Larry Chin's camera, I was like, it's fine. I can replace the shutter, and I'm still gonna go. So I bought that one, and then I slowly, like, started paying my mom off, because I just did it through her, so I didn't actually have to take a loan out, because I already had 2 loans, or 1 loan at that time. But anyway, and then I paid it off, so we're good now.
Yeah.
But I kind of forgot the question where we're at. I just started rambling on.
Question for me that you had was,
when you decide. Oh, right. I don't know. I was
at Schiller's for sure. So you answered the question, yeah.
I kind of did. It was kind of at Schiller's, but then kind of not. So yeah.
I feel that.
I was gonna buy 1D3 too at a time. I was like, I'm just gonna save up for 1D3 and then buy
the newest one.
But, like,
that thing is expensive, and
$6,500.
Really, it's great. It's better.
And I was like, well, my whole thing was like, it's like a mirrorless camera too, because, like, that was the whole marketing behind it. Was like, there's, like, also a mirrorless camera, but, like, I don't see why this isn't either. Like, all DSLRs are kind of mirrorless once you go live view.
Exactly.
I don't get that.
Literally, yeah.
So,
I don't really understand it either.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but I will say autofocus in live view is only it's not AI servo.
Yeah, that's
just
it's kind of, I don't like, it's not great.
Autofocus.
The 1DX3 does that. There's a lot of things the 1DX3 does that I kind of miss. Also, like, I prefer the CF Express cards that my S1 used too, so I didn't have to buy, like, all new cards. And it did, like, 5.5K RAW and stuff. But then I thought, like, first of all, like, when am I going to use 5.5K RAW? Like, the bit rate on that is, like, 2100 megabytes a second.
No thanks.
Like, that makes a CFast card kind of lag sometimes. Like,
jeez.
Or CF Express, my bad. Because the CF Express card I was using was, like, 1700 megabytes a second read speed, right?
That's so fast.
It's so quick. Anyway, but yeah, we have 1DX2s now in 2020. And then I made, like, in succession, like, 4 or 5 videos about the 1D2 in a row. And or not all of them did pretty well, but, like, the first one did really well. It was, like, 2,700 views or whatever. And I just get a bunch of hate comments, like, and I get it. Like, it wasn't the greatest video, but It gave me subscribers for sure.
Hey.
So,
Jeez, dude. I'm glad. The reason I bought it is a little bit different from yours, I guess.
I just bought it I bought it because autofocus and it was my dream camera.
You needed it more than me.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I didn't even need it, to be honest. Oh.
That shit cold.
And I remember literally having a conversation with you. I was like, I don't really even need it.
I literally told you, I was like, we were in Metro, and I was like, you don't actually need to buy this.
I know. But to be honest, I'm glad I did.
I'm glad you did.
Zero regrets, because I actually enjoy. I was getting sick of how easy the Sony is. It's literally so good to take a good photo on. That's not even funny.
It sounds stupid, but like it's just facts.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
In
like
2 miles, take exit 52 toward Litchfield.
I don't know, man. It was just really kind of boring to take photos on the Sony. But now I pick the Sony up and it's like...
So the A7 III's in my hand right now, and like, it's so small.
It's such a good camera.
It's
I
uncomfortable.
For anyone listening to this, if you're going to listen to this, whatever, anyway, don't take that as like...
It's not a good camera.
Yeah, no, this camera is absolutely like so good. Like it really is.
I've had like 3 friends of mine ask me, like, they're getting into photography or they're getting into video or whatever, and every single time I tell them three things. I was like, all right, first of all, before you even ask me what camera you should buy, figure out what you're gonna shoot first, because it depends on that. Don't just be like, if I say an A7 III and you want to shoot like, I don't know, 4K 60 and expensive, nice, it's like, it doesn't do that. But I always tell them, like, all right, A7 III is a great starting point. Research exactly what you need, do the research. And I feel all my friends have not done the research.
Half a mile, take exit
Really?
52
They're like,
toward
I give them like some good options.
They just buy one of those.
No, they just I don't think they do like the full research of what they, but like, you know, it's whatever. I tell them one thing, they don't have to listen, I guess. But
Am I taking this? Yeah, towards Litchfield.
52. Yeah. But I always tell people like A7 III, and now that the
A7S3.
The S3's out. Oh my gosh, bro, I want that camera. Low key.
Hey, for video.
half a mile.
That
keep
thing
right at the
fucks.
fork. Follow signs for Litchfield.
For real.
If you're looking into R5 or an AS or A7S3, like, and you're trying to do video, A7S3, like, it's so good.
I agree. That thing's insane, dude.
Anyway,
It's so insane.
that's why we bought 1DX2s in 2020.
A7S3 for wedding photography would be so good.
Oh my gosh.
Keep right at the fork, then turn right onto Illinois 16 East.
Dude. Yeah.
It sees in the dark. That 12 megapixels really do hit.
Bro, one thing that I hated about the Sony
Turn
was
right
how...
onto Illinois 16
Oh my God,
East,
Siri,
County Road
shut up.
1200 North.
was how unnatural the highlight roll-off was. That's honestly my biggest complaint. Sometimes the autofocus was like too good and it'd want to like...
Well, I think that has to like do with like
the setting I was in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fucking annoying because like I didn't want to put it in spot focus because I couldn't see where my damn spot was because it's gray.
Oh, why they do that?
And it's so slow.
I mean, they changed that in the R4, but
it's so slow to move around, and I'm not just gonna tap my screen all the time because that's annoying. Because sometimes the touch screen doesn't work very well. I don't know, dude. I was like, you know what?
Turn left onto Columbian Boulevard, County Road 150 East.
Let me just get a DSLR.
I was
Looks so natural.
At first, I was genuinely.
Go straight. Yeah, go straight this one.
It's the next left. So
turn left onto Columbian Boulevard, County Road 150 East.
When I was looking into the 1DX3, and when you just, or not 3, but the 2, and you just started looking into it, I did a shoot in my house. I watched some video of like this guy. He was shooting
for 4 miles.
a Red Bull BMX rider with his 1DX2, and I was like, I'll make a video kind of like that, which it was nothing like that. Anyway, but so I was in my house, and my living room is a studio. I don't have a living room.
So sick.
So I was taking photos in there with the S1, and what I was doing was I took it out of constant preview. So like if I look through the viewfinder and I change the f-stop or anything, the view doesn't change. It always looks the same. And then I like put my screen, because obviously like those cameras have flippy screens in the back. Well, I just left it like locked, and I was like, this is garbage, but like this is what it would be like having, and trying to simulate having a 1DX kind of was like, I don't know if I can do this, but now I have it, it's like not that bad.
Yeah, so like
only
I
a few
definitely
times.
get way more like now because of the DSLR, like it was weird. You would think that you would think that like looking through a viewfinder and constantly being able to see what your like exposure is, and it's gonna sound like really stupid, but like think about it. You're in a dark wedding venue, right, or just anywhere, right, and your eyes, you're not thinking about, like, it's very easy to like just know that you're, I don't know, I would get in the habit of like not checking my settings all the time because I almost used the Sony kind of as like a crutch point. Like, I was like, oh, I know it has all this, like, it doesn't even matter if I get it or whatever, like, if I get it perfectly exposed, like, it's fine or whatever. And then because of that, I would be like, oh, I'm in this wedding venue, it's dark, my eyes are gonna see, like, you know, this dark room, right? And then when I look through the viewfinder, it looks dark, right? And to my eyes, that's like fine, that's what I'm seeing. But what I forget is that that's what my photo is going to turn out like, because I'm looking through not a optical viewfinder, it's an EVF, you know. So it's like, and that sounds really stupid.
Wait, I'm confused because that's one thing that my dad hates about OVFs is like the fact that you look, if you're in like a dark place and you look through the viewfinder, you can't see anything, which I understand now. Like, I don't like that. I'm
saying that I would literally forget that I'm looking through an EVF because this is just my camera at this point. I just forget. I just point and shoot at this point, you know. Okay. And like when I'm at a wedding, I'm not thinking about. It's hard to think about, like, because there's so much going on.
Bro, my hands smell kind of like mustard.
That's very weird.
Not really.
I don't know. It's hard to describe. Like, I would just misfocus, or not misfocus. I would just underexpose a lot of my shots. Like, really, I would just underexpose a lot of my shots.
Interesting.
Because I'm like, this is what it, like, and it's weird. I don't even know why.
That is weird, actually.
Maybe it's just a me thing.
Yeah.
But I, like, I rarely underexpose photos now with my DSLR, which is insane because you'd think, like, oh.
So, like, what I found is, like, so, going back to like film cameras, because my dad, like, we were describing it as like the EV, like a mirrorless camera is like an automatic transmission in a car, and a DSLR is a manual transmission. And my dad doesn't see it that way because he used to shoot film, so he thinks that like
that boy driving a Mercedes like 1800. That's what he driving.
This wasn't a thing in 1800s.
1901 Mercedes.
That doesn't exist.
It's a thing. It's like the first car ever.
No.
Anyway, that boy driving a Model T.
Okay. Well, anyway, so like obviously with that, like you have your like, so your ISO is basically just like your film or your, you know, I think I'm not 100% sure, but like they have like 400, 800, 200, yeah. And then you have to like, you know, look at.
In half a mile, turn right onto North 16th Avenue.
You just have to pick, you know, your shutter speed and your aperture manually, and then you're not going to be able to see the photos for like a while before they get, you know. So we have like the little like light meter on the side of the exposure meter that we can look at, but being able to like have to like almost learn
turn right onto North 16th
like
Avenue.
What, not just looking at that little meter on the side, but like you'll have to be like, okay, I need to have this, and you figure out settings, and you'll be able to like take a photo knowing your settings without even exactly having to look.
Yeah, dude.
Continue
so it's not
on
just
North
like
16th Avenue for 1.5
it's like
exactly
miles.
cheating, like on a test. Like instead of like looking at the answers, like you have to know.
I would say it's more like studying.
Okay.
It's more like studying. Like,
well,
right now I would look at this and I would just like be like, and I would mess with my settings and I'd take a test shot and it'd be so close, if not already there. Like, and I feel like.
Well, that's the thing with most people is like you don't have to chimp.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, I mean, everybody's like, so my dad used to teach photography classes, and I don't really chimp as actually much as I thought I would.
Yeah, same.
I rarely chimp.
Same.
Good job, Alex. Anyway, but there'd be people in my dad's photography class, and they would chimp so hard that like he'd take the picture, and before the picture's even done, he'd bring it down And the
my
picture,
gosh, the photo would be...
The picture was blurry because he's still taking the photo's still being taken, and he's pulling the thing down. He's like, yeah. My dad pissed a lot of people off in photography class because like there's a guy and he's like he had the perfect settings and everything and blah blah blah, but this other person who had no idea how to take a photo and he's like her photo's better. He's like, what do you mean? Like this is perfect photo. His exposure's perfect. And he's like, yeah, but this one tells a story and it's like more compositionally right and everything. And he's like, this, and he's like, yeah.
Photography is art.
Yeah,
Dude, I just love the Canon, dude.
I'm blown away. So
in a quarter mile, continue straight onto Solar Circle.
I'm blown away by myself more than anything because like, so a year ago, like I just got back into. Well, actually, I was filming vlogs every Mondays are for the boys. Miss those days. I just started getting into video. The GH5 I bought. You know, I bought it mainly for YouTube, which actually I didn't realize how many YouTubers use GH5s. It's crazy. Oh yeah, I was just like starting into video, and then I was like, yeah, like I'm gonna be let me try to get into video work, and it's just weird because I never had that much of an interest in photos. Like obviously photos are cool, but like I didn't. Yes, I'm so glad I decided to come out here.
This is sick.
Turn left to stay on Solar Circle, then you will arrive at your destination.
Photos never like really like intrigued me because I never like tried it. I guess you don't know if you're gonna like it until you try it. So, and I viewed photos as more difficult than video because I never done photos. Like I was just like photos are gonna be hard. Like I didn't know because, and I still
You've arrived.
I still don't find it, not that it's not easy. Wait, hold on. I'm making my brain all scrambled like eggs. So, I just never thought I was gonna get into photography. And I think with video, like, I don't think it was with video, more of just like myself, and back 8-9 months ago, even more. Like I wanted to try, but like I just couldn't get myself to try that hard for whatever reason. So like learning and about new ways to do film and like, you know, editing, color grading, all that stuff. I wanted to learn, but I just didn't try anything. And now with photos, like I find it more exciting and adrenaline almost, especially when I'm at like drift events and stuff, and like I see that photo, I literally am running across the pits trying to get a photo, and it just feels great. Photography's what's up.
I love photography.
Photography fucks.
It's like the simplest. Like when you think of a video, it's like it's very simple, right? But it's honestly, I wouldn't say it's easy to tell a story, but I would say it's easier to tell a story through video than it is photos. I
think that's why I like video, because so I don't know if I got this from my dad or not, but I find I feel like I'm a decent person at telling a story. Maybe not even through video, but like just actually writing. I feel like I'm pretty good at writing. Anyway, I think that's a part of like video that I liked. But
that's cool. Yeah.
I don't know. Photos.
I think it's... In a quarter mile, turn left onto Harrison Trail.
I don't know, dude. I love photography, man.
It's so fun and it's enjoyable.
You can.
What blows my mind is that, so like I said, I'm 6 months into doing photography, and I don't really view myself as that good. 'Cause I'm really not, and that's fine. Like I'm still learning.
You're getting pretty damn good, my guy. Hey, you've been good.
I hate when you say that because I completely disagree.
How, bro? No, I genuinely mean it though. Like,
continue on Harrison Trail for 2 miles.
So, it just blows my mind, like, when people, like, actually, like, think my photos are good. And it's weird people, like, buying my photos in the track. It's like...
Because they're good, bro. I didn't say that. Like, I'm not lying. People buy your shit. Like, I would buy your shit.
It's just weird for me to think that, because... I don't know.
I think it's because... And I do it a lot, too. But it's like... I always compare my shit to other stuff.
That's like one thing you really can't do. You're not supposed to do, and it's just hard not to.
It's what I do is like, it's weird. It's like, it's almost like making food. I'm gonna roll your window down real quick so I can freaking see. But I feel like it's almost like making food, like, and you pull up a recipe. If you like actually like cooking, you pull up the recipe and you get the base idea of kind of what you're gonna do, and you pull inspiration from that recipe, right?
Whoever like reads straight from recipes, like. No.
Yeah, it's like when I see a photo from like Peter McKinnon, I'm like, okay, I love his style, but I'm not gonna copy his exact same framing and exact same subject. I'm not gonna set up the exact same photo, right? I'm not gonna do the exact same thing.
Yeah.
But like, I watch all these other people and all these other artists and photographers, and I'm pulling inspiration because I like their stuff. And instead of looking at it as like, holy crap, they're so much better than me, I just look at it as like where I want to be, and like and then I start thinking like, how can I get there instead of just being defeated by it, which is hard because it's like you literally are comparing your photo to someone else's work.
Yeah.
Which can be really hard.
That's what I did with video, and that really put me down. With photos, I do it less. I mean, not completely, because I see like it's hard for me because I'm decently new to this, and like now that I know Zeb and Cam and Michaela and you and everybody else on the internet, and I look at their photos and I'm like, damn, like I don't understand how. And I try and I fail and I try and I fail, and that's just simply what it is, like failure and like learning from that. But it's hard for me to like, it's like, dang bro, y'all are so good compared to me in my eyes, so it's just like, how can I ever, you know?
I mean, I think you're being a hard critic on yourself.
Everybody is.
I get it where you're coming from. Like, I'll look at
in a quarter mile, turn right onto North 14th Avenue.
I'll look at other people's stuff like that, but then I also gotta tell myself like, I'm relatively new to this too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't expect yourself to pick up.
Yeah, and so I have to keep telling myself, I was like, I'm 6 months in. Like, that's like, think about it from like a perspective of like growing up. Like 6 months.
Turn right onto
like,
North 14th Avenue,
like,
then turn left onto Harrison Trail.
5 years old. I mean, I know it's not exactly the same thing, but like, you know.
Do I turn right here?
My
turn
mouse
left onto Harrison Trail.
left here.
This is the same road.
My mouse mat dry. I need to drink some agua.
This way.
Yo,
This is weird.
Continue on Harrison Trail for half a mile.
But yeah, I'm excited for just like what else photography has to come. Like, I want to start doing more artistic work.
Yeah.
And, like, that's why I wanted to sell my prints for a while, but right now I don't
In a
want
quarter
to
mile,
focus on
turn
that.
left onto Beach
don't have to
House
focus on it.
Trail,
You can still
County
do it.
Road
It's
1350
really not that hard.
north.
Yeah, I'm talking about like setting up like a whole online print shop though. And, like,
I was looking into that the other day because I was like, man, I need to do that.
I just don't want to do that. But yeah,
because like
Squarespace supports it, and I was thinking about it.
I looked at, so I started designing a website
Turn
on
left
Wix
onto
just to
Beach
see
House
how I would
Trail,
set it up.
County Road 1350
And
north.
then I was like, wait a second, I probably should do this in Squarespace. So I it's free until you have to pay for like the selling thing. So I didn't know that or something. Because like,
Continue on Beach House Trail for 2
I thought you
miles.
just had to pay for Squarespace, like but you don't. It's the like, if you want to start selling stuff, you have to like
I need to cancel my Squarespace website because it's just weddings and it's boring.
I forgot. I don't know. It's crazy. How much is it? Like, what are you paying for that?
It's like $30 a month.
That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. And I have like the second tier package. That could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what I pay.
Yeah, well, I was doing it like last week. I was like trying to design a website, and because what I was gonna do, and it's kind of too late for this. I mean, I could, if I really wanted to bust ass and try to get it before Friday, it's just not gonna happen.
You have to buy a domain name too.
Yeah, so I was gonna like have a whole like online print store ready before Black Friday, so I could do a Black Friday sale.
Oh, that's sick.
And I'm gonna still do a Black Friday sale, so maybe I can get like some more Christmas like presents for, or like, I'm not doing it, but you know. And it's nothing like crazy, because like, so every time I sell photos, it's hard because it's like I sell it for like this price, and then I look at it, I was like, that's really not enough. But I feel bad because these are my track friends, like I know these people, and it's hard for me to like, so, and obviously I'm not gonna sell it like $100 because like nobody's gonna buy it. So
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out like the proper price. So I'm like averaging like between, well, my digital copies start at $8 now, but like printed photos, like I do like $15 to $20 per photo, depending, and then 10 if they buy a lot. So I don't know. I don't know if I can like keep like pushing that
thing that Alex has done really, really well is, so like, all the photographers at our track were like, honestly, like, they were decent. There were a couple that stood out.
There's definitely like Jake Bowes is fire.
Dude, there were a couple that are like really good.
I look at his and like, all right, how do I do this?
To be honest, like,
I don't know what you just said.
I think like you're right up to par with them. Like, but one thing that I was gonna say is like super cool that you did at our local track is like all the photographers would message people and be like, "Got any photos of me? Send them, please." Like I don't know, like
the people would do that to me, and it's just like, bro, like I'm not gonna just send you. Like I did that. So at first there was a Midnight Madness I shot. It was the first time doing photos for an event. And the photos, looking back at them now, like...
Your destination will be on the right.
Just the edit itself was just not it. Like, anyway, besides that. But these people were like, hey, you have any photos of me from the thing? But they were like, I was like, yeah, here. And I gave him, Corey Patterson, I gave him, like, 5 photos. And he's like, oh, I was going to pay for these. I was like, oh, really? Like, here you go. You just have them.
oh,
And I was like, wait a second. People are going to pay for these? Like, what? So then now, like...
Your destination is on the right.
People ask me for photos, and I'm just like, if you pay for them. Like, I'm not, like, an asshole, but, like, I considered I have a business to run, and I'm not just going to give you, like, photos for free. Like, some people at the track, they talk to me about it, and, like, I completely understand, like, how much this stuff costs. It's another car. Like, drifting is expensive, so is this. People don't understand that.
Yeah, but that's the cool thing you've done is though, like, you've definitely I'm gonna not pull out this trail. But one thing you've definitely done is like you've made all the photographers like able to like make money now from going and shooting. Like people are starting to charge. Like there's definitely like all the photographers are treating themselves like with a higher level of respect almost because you did it first, and they're like, okay, it's okay to charge prices. Like you started almost like a movement of
which
like
is weird because I literally started this season, which is weird because this season is like kind of half existent.
Yeah, because COVID and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. It was really cool to see because like we've been talking about it like, and then you just did it.
Really, I've been listening to so many podcasts now. Like recently, like I started listening to Becky and Chris's podcast, Tuxedo Time, and then Sarah Dietschy's That Creative Life. I love podcasts, and although nobody's gonna listen, I would really like to start doing this again, but in a more legitimate way, not just like
this.
Yeah, like actually recording and like doing
sitting
it.
Down and having a talk.
Because the ones we used to do, like, I was getting mad. I was just like, this isn't how it's not working, and I was just getting angry. There was one time you guys were talking, and I was just like, you're very irritated about what you guys were talking about, and I just like, that's when I yelled at you. I was like, get the fuck off your phone. I was pissed. I was so irritated.
Oh boy, I remember.
Shut the fuck up about that. I was really aggravated. Anyway.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. You were like, this guy's gay. Oh my god, he's gay. And I was just like so pissed. I was like, shut the fuck up. Like, it's annoying the shit out of me. It really annoys me. But all right. So what did we learn from this podcast? Because we kind of like ventured out.
Learned that our purchase was well worth it, and that photography and videography is an art, and you're always gonna have room to improve no matter what. So stop looking at your work as bad when you compare it to others, and use it as an inspiration. And sometimes, even if you don't need the gear, it could be beneficial, but most of the time it's probably not going to be unless you really can justify buying it. And even if you don't want to and it makes you happy, then you know what? If it inspires you to do work, that's important. If it inspires you to do work, if something inspires you to do it, then do it.
But don't make that an excuse. Like, don't be like, oh, this is going to make me, like, inspired to do it, and then you just, like, you're not, because it's not worth spending the money on new bodies when you can buy new lenses, because lenses are forever, bodies are for a year or 2 weeks. Like, literally 2 weeks. It's like, oh, that one's out of date. Oh, you have the 1DX3? Sorry, I have the R5. Don't buy the R5. I'm just kidding. Actually, it's a great camera. If you're a photographer...
Don't buy it.
No, if you're a photographer, the R5 is kind of what's up. Like, for photography. But, because it's a photography first camera. But then, I think that Canon just pushed the 8K too much. Because they knew it wasn't going to work.
Stupid Canon.
Don't buy Canon, bro. Canon's
fire sometimes. No, honestly, just buy 1D2.
Don't buy Canon, bro. They're starting to get better. Because, like, as my dad said, when the 1D2 came out, that's when they started declining. Because, like, the R5 is, like, for this year, it's, like, pretty revolutionary what it does. And at the time, it was, like, the the 5D2. Like, that was an insane camera. That blew people's minds. Like, a lot of movies that I've watched in my life, that like are really good movies, have been shot on a 5D2. Yeah.
That's weird.
Anyway, we're gonna end this podcast here. This is the first episode of the Cars, Coffee, and Camera podcast. I'm your host, Alex, with the other host.
And I am your host, Trevor.
Live your life, guys.
Have fun.
We'll see you next time.